So you're watching this because you want to know what makes some people build awesome stuff while others just talk, right? You've probably read all those Be Successful books, watched the hype videos, but maybe you're still stuck. This isn't another one of those believe in yourself pep talks. You already know that stuff. Everyone does. If that's all it took, we'd all be crushing it. Instead, we're going to see why businesses actually tank, why people give up right before their big win, and why some smart folks have nothing to show for all their effort. Then, we'll pull out some key rules from Steven Bartlett's The Diary of a CEO book that could have stopped those disasters. But we're not doing all 33 rules, just the ones people skip, the ones that feel weird, the ones that go against what you think you know, because those are the ones that truly matter. Here's our game plan. Part 1, we break down 3 familiar failure stories and show where they went wrong. Part 2, we dig into 3 rules that almost nobody follows and why ignoring them is costing you everything. Part 3, we talk action steps for tomorrow. Not someday, but actually tomorrow. If you've ever started a project that just fizzled out, if you've ever felt like you're doing everything right but going nowhere, this video will show you what you're missing. Let's get into it. First up, failure. The failure breakdown. Why businesses die, the skill trap. Most businesses don't fail because the core idea sucked. They fail because the person running it was good at the wrong thing. Here's what I mean. Say you're a killer graphic designer. You live and breathe design. So you launch a design biz. Then, bam! You realize you only spend 10% of your time designing. The other 90% is spent on sales, bossing people around, sorting out money problems, and begging clients to pay you on time. You hate all that stuff. You're awful at it. So, the business flatlines. Bartlett calls this the skill trap. You think that being pro at something means you should start a related company. But starting a company means you're no longer doing that skill. You're running the show. Here's the rule people ignore. Fill your 5 buckets. Bartlett says we all need 5 things: knowledge, skills, connections, reputation, and cash. Most people start with, 1 or 2. Then they're shocked it's tough. Before you start, ask yourself, can I truly run this thing? Or just do the fun bits? If you can only do the work, you don't own a business. You've just created a job for yourself. Smart people ask instead, what don't I know that I desperately need to learn? Then, they go do it. Even if it's a bore. Case in point, a genius chef unlocks a brand new restaurant and it's carpet within a year. The food was amazing. But they had no clue about profit margins, food costs, or how to deal with staff. Great chef, horrible boss. If they'd learned the business end first, made friends with suppliers, and understood the numbers, they might have stood a chance. Why people quit right? Before the big time, the dip. Almost everyone building something hits the same wall. You start off stoked. You see results fast. You think you've worked out the secret strategy. Then bam! You hit a wall. Nothing's working. There is no growth. You're burnt out. You've been working flat out for months with little to show for it. So you quit. 6 months later, some else has a go at the exact same thing. And it works. They didn't win because they were geniuses. They won because they didn't quit. Bartlett calls the hard part the dip. He shows how the only difference between winners and losers is that winners know this dip is gonna happen. It's not a sign you're failing, it's a sign you're in the middle. So basically, you need to be disciplined. Most people think self-discipline is all about being tough, so they think they just need more willpower. But Bartlett reckons that's wrong. Self-discipline is actually about setting up a life where quitting is a chore. Case in point, somebody starts a personal YouTube channel and posts 3 videos. After only get 47 views in total, they stop. The channel feels embarrassing because they felt like they'd put themselves out there and nothing came back. But if they'd signed up to doing 1 video every week for 6 months for no matter what, if they'd scheduled the videos, told their friends, and pre-made it impossible to not post, they'd have pushed onward. The breakthrough was only 3 weeks away. Most folks give up in the dip. Those who don't aren't special, they just know the dip is how building something happens. Why smart people end up with nada, the comparison game. Very few people discuss this failure. You're building something and making progress, but you get distracted when you spot someone who is killing it. Then you move, edit your strategy, and clone what other people are doing. When you see someone doing something else, you make another move. After that year, you've started 5 businesses, but haven't finished a single one. You were so involved in other people that you went on to forget about yours. Bartlett calls this the comparison trap. He recommends don't be an imposter. The secret to succeeding is to not try and copy somebody else. Successful people are the ones who define success and crack on. For example, 2 podcasters start their respective podcasts at the exact same time. One takes influence from other famous podcasters, like Joe Rogan, and replicates his style. The second person goes on to create something specifically for them, something that only they could make. The first person has a mental breakdown and quits after 6 months because they couldn't compete with world-class podcasters. The second person builds a dedicated audience base that cares and is engaged. Don't compete with other folks, compete with your own focus. The 3 unpopular rules. Okay, now the hard stuff. Not motivational quote material, but the weird stuff that makes you itch. The stuff that forces you to do what you don't really want to do. This stuff is what will actually turn things around. The law of 10,000 experiments. Why trying really hard doesn't cut it. The standard process would be, pick a goal, commit to achieving it. When you don't succeed, you think about how you aren't trying hard to pursue your dream. You push and grind, but still nothing. Here's the thing, effort doesn't equal outcome. Running hard at some weird goal just makes that time even more redundant. Instead, Bartlett recommends that you run 10,000 experiments. Rather than working the hardest, winners test as much as possible. If a new idea springs to mind, then make that idea a reality and see if it works. Treat anything like a testing period where you don't get too attached to any one game plan. Real-life situation. You're trying to get famous on social media. Lots of people make the same content over and over. When that doesn't work, they blame themselves and think they're not good enough. Successful people try all weird kinds of things. They post at different times, use different formats, and speak about different things. They don't post one kind of TikTok every day, which most people take this to mean. To be consistent is to be experimenting. Eventually they find something that clicks. Nobody wants to lose. Trying means failing, and failing isn't for everyone. I am focused and disciplined. I am going to master this is more appealing than the other idea. You've probably wasted months or years when that idea bombs. I would say that the truth is that you don't necessarily know what will become a success. You need to find your thing as quickly as possible. Stop trying harder and change it up a bit. Have the first uncomfortable chat. Why being avoidant is destroying you. Let's say somebody on your team gets paid but doesn't do anything. They are a team member or someone that you're working with. You want to say something, but they're your mate. You decide to just go with it. But it's still bugging you. 6 months later, your friend goes off in an explosive anger because they realize that they are just passengers with no impact. The company is over. I've been thinking about it for a while. Successful people spot the issues early and get to the root of it quickly. Real-life example. You start a business with your best friend. One person is actually creating value and working hard, and the other isn't. The person grafting works hard but doesn't confront the issues. They think to themselves that their friend will do it. 6 months later, the entire thing bombs. If they discuss the issues 2 weeks in and ask politely if their friend could do more, then maybe the team would still exist together. We don't want to cause hurt. Ignoring the disagreement is delaying the problem. By the time you discuss it, the problem will be 10x the size it was before people such as successful CEOs agree they should have fired the team quicker. But by ignoring problems, they do an injustice to themselves. You don't need to be liked. The problem with the desire to be kind. Answer this to yourself. How many times have you been worried about letting people down? Everyone is trying to avoid disappointing someone. They can't upset anyone, which ruins absolutely everything. Bartlett tells you that the moment you become not fussed is the moment you do whatever you want. If everyone is happy, then everything is calm and boring. Real life. You are thinking of unlocking a business which you know is going to make waves. You tell your friends and they say that they aren't too sure, so it all gets toned down. Safe. The only businesses which win are specific in their niche. Not for everyone. Humans want to be liked and not to fail. The paradox is that most folks respect and don't care about people pleasers. How does this world actually translate? You don't need permission to do anything. What everyone thinks is not a big deal. Just crack on no matter what. The truth that is sad is that being liked isn't a big achievement. It's much better to be looked up to. Action steps for tomorrow. Okay, so you've watched for tips. You now have a better understanding of how it is done. Then get up and get started. Keep the energy. Don't be like most people. You need to take that inspiration and do this. What is the most important thing that is bugging you is the only question that matters. Be true and pick whatever actually resonates. Use a goal related to the issue. You need to take what you've learned and do the thing you've always avoided. For example, I can't speak to a teammate because they're my friend. Do it. Reading about this rubbish won't get you anywhere. The only thing that will is standing up and just doing. We get a crash course on what causes businesses to close, such as folks getting distracted, and how people don't fill their 5 areas. We looked into reasons people are demotivated. The gap between failure and success isn't because of luck or whatever, but taking action. Do it and wait until you look back in time at how much things have changed.